I don't think he needs any introduction, but
How you doing?
very, very good, Mayor Turner. You know, just if I can, I always like little antidotes. So one time I had a visit from President Jokowi of Indonesia about 4 years ago. And before he left, he grabbed my arm and he said, Said, you have to come to Jakarta. You have to bring Plug and Play to Jakarta. And I swear this is what this mayor did to me in our lobby of our Plug and Play. I really enjoyed meeting you in California, and
Same here.
we hope to do great things together here in Houston.
Thanks, Saeed.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Look, let me just take a few minutes. I certainly want to start off by thanking Saeed, and we did have a wonderful time out in Silicon Valley and at his place of operation, Plug and Play, and on the walls. And I still remember that all of the startups that you have invested in. He's a serial startup investor. So on all the walls, and I mean the walls just covered all of the companies where he and others have invested and how they have really exponentially just had humongous returns. So you know, just thank you for what you've already done. I think you've invested in more than 1,000 startups, more than 1,000, and so and now expanding your operation to the city of Houston. So they have transitioned or transitioning in part from Silicon Valley to hashtag Silicon Bayou. So you know, welcome to the city of Houston. You know. Let me just say good morning. This has already been a very, very busy day, so let me apologize for coming in late. It is the end of the Ramadan holiday, and this is the Eid Mubarak this morning, and thousands of them were there. And so I've not missed, since I've been mayor, going to the end of their prayers and celebration, and I didn't want to miss this morning. But certainly, I know this is the kickoff of the Innovation Week in the city of Houston. And a lot's taking place in the city of Houston, as many of you already know. Let me get a sense. How many are from outside the city of Houston? If you're from outside the city of Houston, show of hands. Okay, good. Okay, good. Well, welcome to the city of Houston. For those who are already here in the city of Houston, let me say good morning. It's good to see all of you, Gavin, and everybody else who are here this morning. Look, you know, several years ago, we decided that we just needed to do more in terms of establishing this ecosystem in the city of Houston. And collectively, many people, many stakeholders have come together. It hasn't been one person or one organization. It's been a collective effort. We recognize that the city of Houston has so much to talk about, so much to boast about. We have had a glorious history, but a glorious history does not necessarily mean a glorious future unless you work at it. And so we spent a lot of time talking about being the energy capital of the world, and we are. And we spent a lot of time talking, we have the largest medical center in the world, and we do. And we spent a lot of time talking about the port being #1 in the United States in foreign tonnage, and it is. But the question is, now where are we going? And a few years ago, when we looked at it and we saw where we were in terms of venture capital investments, we were just not in the top 20. We weren't even in the top 30. So that was disappointing. When we looked at where companies, where the startups were, you know, we were just not in the top quadrant. And so that was disappointing. And then we flew to Israel in June of 2016, and they have more startups per capita than any place in the world. And we discovered that everything that they have there in terms of building out their ecosystem, Susan, we have right here in the city of Houston. We are the most diverse city in the country. 1 of 4 Houstonians is foreign born. We are a young city, probably the second youngest population only to the LA region. And yet we have the medical center and the energy capital, all of the things that we have Many, they wanted us to introduce their startups to the things that exist in our city. And so the question is, now how do we sprint to where we need to be? And so now we're not walking in terms of building this integrated, robust ecosystem. We're sprinting in that direction. And so along with the Greater Houston Partnership and other stakeholders, we've been moving very quickly to try to get that established. I want to thank the TMC, Texas Medical Center, TMC 3, for their translational investment, 30 acres, and they're moving at a quick pace. So a good shout out to Bill McKean and TMC 3. We're moving forward in that direction. We're looking at establishing this innovation corridor between downtown Houston and the medical center, about 4 miles. And then right in the center, certainly want to thank Rice for leading the way on the ION, which is the innovation hub, a part of this innovation corridor. Very excited about that. And that it's not about just building a building and establishing a hub with a corridor. You have to kind of revitalize and improve the quality of life and everything around it as well, because you don't want to attract somebody to just a building, but they don't like everything around it. And so those 16 acres, where the ION, what the medical center is doing, downtown Herman Park is kind of redoing their front door. So a lot of things are established there. Mass Challenge, that was in Boston, went to Austin, now is in the city of Houston. We're very excited about that. Verizon, in terms of their deployment of 5G, one of the first places in the world, right here in the city of Houston. Microsoft announced a couple of weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, that Houston, in terms of its incubators, one of the top 3 will be right here in the city of Houston. WeWorks are doing some exciting things. Buildcom has decided to expand from Palo Alto to the city of Houston, so 125 employees. Soft tech industry coming right here to the city of Houston. And of course, you just heard from Saeed, the serial investor in startups, technology innovation, is now expanding his operation here. The bottom line is, in the city of Houston, we're not walking to our destination, we're sprinting to our destination. And then on top of that, so much is happening in the energy sector, because it's not just about oil and gas, but it's about renewables and digital technology. And so if you want to continue to wear the crown of being the energy capital of the world, which means you have to diversify within the energy sector, and they're doing some amazing things. The bottom line, as I wrap up, if there is any city that ought to be leading the way when it comes to startups, technology, and innovation, it ought to be the city of Houston. And so you can't just talk about what others have done and what we have accomplished. We've got to take that now, build the platform into moving now into where we are going. And you can only do that by establishing that integrated, robust ecosystem. That's our goal, that's our aim. And so we're excited. Do I sound excited? Well, hell, I am excited, you know. But it's about getting people to invest more. It doesn't happen on its own. And people have to see that if we invest, we're going to get a huge return. And what I will say to you in the city of Houston, this is a season, and if you make the investment, the return certainly will come. So thank you for being a part of it. To all of the stakeholders, thank you for what you're doing, for Greater Houston Partnership, people like the station, the Cannon. You know, since I've been in the city of Houston now, there are way more than 3,000 startups that are now right here in the city of Houston, and more are coming. We don't want the companies to leave. We don't want to lose our young talent. And in order for that to happen, we got to build out our transit system. That's important, because there are a lot of other elements that go along with it. So we got to build out our transit system. We got this major initiative in November, Metro Next, taking significant steps in doing that. And then at the same time, it just can't be a one part of the industry. It has to be a City of Houston initiative in order for that to make that happen. And this is about the city of Houston and all in. Just like the Rockets, well, we were generous with Golden State this year. So, you know, the Texans, the Astros, the reality is in the city of Houston, when we play together, we win. And so in the city of Houston, we are playing together because we intend to win. Thank you and enjoy the week. Thank you, Saeed. Thank you, man.